Grasshoppers, it looks so weird. I'd be running from them.
Well, baby, please. No, no, no.
Halito.
Alito, everyone.
There she is. Halito.
Alito daughters.
Halito, Halito, good to see you.
Alito. Good to see everybody. I'm glad you all are here. This is going to be one of the most important meetings that we're going to have because this is the beginning of us changing us. That's one of the most important things. That everybody could mute their mics because I'm going to do the bulk of the talking at this point, and then we'll have some questions afterwards. Hold on. I'm trying to do my screen right. I'm sorry. You would think I know how to do this by now. One of the most important things of this meeting is that we are going to make some changes. It is called the ritual of return. And there's a reason it's called the ritual of return. Because we're going to really understand how rituals have played a major role into getting to where we are right now. We are fighting for our lives. We are fighting for our lands. We are fighting for damn near everything that we should be able to have total control over, including our children, how they're educated. We have literally turned our entire lives over to this beast. And now we're struggling to get out of her vagina and get off her titty. Let's just be real. That's exactly where we are. Rituals are so important that most of us don't even know that when Columbus and his group hit the shores of the Americas, the first thing that he did was a ritual. Did anybody know that? You could wave if you knew that. Well, that's something that I know you know, Chief Hatfield. I know you know. It's the first thing he did. Rituals play a really important role in our lives. Why? Because our entire universe is cyclical. The moon comes around the same time. Sun comes around the same time. Your menstrual cycle comes around the same time. And if you get around the same women, that just goes to show you how important unity is. Your menstrual cycle will begin to unify with the woman you live with. How many women have ever experienced that? So I'm not lying. Unity is one of the most important things that we can do, especially in our return. Now, I'm going to say to people who don't have their videos on, in this group, you must have your video on because this is important and we need to know who we are. I'm getting a lot of Native Americans who have been trying to infiltrate this whole thing that we're doing. So if you can't turn your video mic on, we will ask you to leave. Please turn it on. There is, wait, okay, somebody is chatting. There is a ritual that we have been following that must be looked at. All of the United States rituals are centered around death. It's centered around a war, and then we celebrate that war. How do we celebrate that war? We celebrate the War of Independence. We celebrate the War of Thanksgiving. We celebrate, all of them was a war. And in almost all those wars, whether they tell you or not, they had something to do with killing off the original people on this continent. Even if it wasn't the original people on this continent, it was the original people on another continent. Dr. Baker, we need to see you. I don't know who the other people are. Hey, Reba, good to see you. Dr. Baker? Video, please. Who's Dance Vili? I don't know who that is.
Give me a moment. Yes, ma'am. How everybody doing?
We're
Give me a
doing.
moment.
How you doing, Dr. Baker? I asked her to come. She's one of the students in my ritual class, and I asked her to come here because we really need to understand how to do rituals, because we do them together already, but we don't realize that what we're doing is we've entered into their rituals of death. Rituals okay, thank you. Rituals is something I want us to understand, but first I'm going to talk to you about what the National American Indian Council of Affairs is. We're an organization. We are in full service of the broad interest of American Indian and urban and rural and American communities. I don't know who Dan Vili is. Can you please show us who you are? It is required for everyone to have their video on. It's a requirement, because we got a bunch of Indians in here and I don't ever want to put them at risk. Dan Vitley, can you text us? Is there an issue? Okay, he's still connected to audio. I'm gonna give him a few more minutes. And I'll give you a few more minutes too, Dr. Baker. This could affect your grade. Although I'm not grading, I'm just teasing with her. All right, NACA falls under the Hindsight Project. The Hindsight Project has studied the history of our people since 1996. That is when we first put this up. And when we first put this up, okay, Dan V, you don't have a video. If you do not, we're gonna ask you to leave, and then you can come back on the next one once you are able to get your video up. Can you hear me? Alfreda, it is important that everyone turns their video on.
Mine's on.
Yeah, I'm still dealing with Dan Vitley. I don't know who that is.
They said they'll join momentarily through their phone.
Who, Dan Vitley?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. You, Dr. Baker, are you coming through?
Give me a few more moments. I'm almost done. Hold on.
Okay, she's probably working with her students. So I know who she is, so I'm not worried about her. I absolutely know who she is. Okay, so here's the thing. An important part of our journey is to break free from the grip of the imposters. And we know who they are. We know who most of them are, right? Okay. In order to do this, we must unify. Now, people always say that we don't know how to unify, but we unify all the time. To do a ritual is basically ceremony, right? It's what you do over and over and over again. And it is always by choice, always. I would like Dr. Baker to tell us a simple ritual that she learned in class. I'm putting you on the spot.
Oh, on the spot right now?
Absolutely.
A simple ritual that I learned in class was sitting at the table drinking my tea.
Okay. Why is it a ritual? What makes it a ritual?
Because it's my routine.
It's your routine. You do it every day, the same time by choice. That is a ritual. She has an intent with that ritual. Her intent may be only to relax and enjoy the tea. Her intent may be to get away from her husband and her children for a time. She may be drinking a laxative tea, so we don't know. Her intent may be to use a laxative tea, but the point is that she's doing a ritual where she knows what the outcome is going to be. Are we getting this? She knows that at 5 a.m., her alarm is going to go off. She's going to put her feet on the floor. I don't know if she's going to take a shower or not, but she's going to go downstairs, turn on the water, make the tea, drink the tea with the intent of enjoying it for whatever it is. When you do a ritual, that is all it is. It is a cycle of your determination to do so. Now we're going to talk about ceremony, which is totally different, because and this is going to make sense, and you're going to understand why this meeting is important to us. Because many of us think rituals are lighting a candle and reciting something over and over again. That is ceremony, not ritual. Ceremony means nothing if you don't know what your ceremony is for. If you don't know the universe, if you don't know yourself, and you don't know the intent of your ritual, your ceremony is moot. Let me give you an example. Every 4th of July, Negroes enter into the ceremony of death. Not only do we get excited about it, and the universe sees your excitement and says, okay, they're excited. They're excited about this ritual of death. You do a sacrifice. You kill an animal, or you buy an animal that has been killed, and you put it on an altar called the barbecue pit. What is the intent of doing so? You want to have a good meal. You want to enjoy the festivities. You want to be a part of what everyone else in this country does in America. That ritual, because most of us don't know that smoke incites the spiritual world. And good to see you, Dr. Baker. Smoke incites the spiritual world. When you light up an animal smoke, you are calling on war. When you light up grain, herbs, you are calling for recognition and peace upon yourself. So what they've done is that they've created a ritual for you, where you walk in and say, I love this ritual where they have killed half of us off. I'm going to light a fire to the spirits and say, hey, you know what? We're happy that we died in this war and that we live on land where they own us, and we haven't fought for our own lands. Everything that you say, everything that you do in this ritual is ceremony. You are giving up your right to have your ceremony on your own land. Every time you walk into an Arabic store, you are walking in ceremony, because this government has said to you, we're going to put Arabs in your community. We're going to put Chinese in your community. And I know for a fact, there were some people in the music business who actually owned stores in this city. And some of them were pushed out. Some of them left on their own. Some of them felt, well, since you're bringing in all these other stores, Mine is not going to do any good. You know why? Because they could not depend on us to keep ceremony with our own people. Should I repeat that? Anybody getting this? Wave your hand if you're getting it. If you're not, I understand totally if you're not getting it. I know for a fact that they have us in ceremony with them. What we eat, where we sleep, how we eat. See, we think it's okay if we wear feathers and we tell people we Indian. Yeah, well, you know what? I know some Chinese people who don't wear feathers and they tell you they Chinese. They bank with each other. They shop with each other. How do I know? Because I lived in the financial district of downtown LA, and there wasn't anything in there but Jews and Asians and a few people who looked like me. And I went downstairs one day and I said, I'm out of cream. And it was an Asian lady sitting there and I was talking to her. Some of you have heard the story from me before. And I said to her, I'm going down the street to get some half and half for my coffee. You want to go with me? And she said, no, I'm going to wait till the store across the street open. It wasn't going to open for an hour. She sat there and waited for it. You know why? Because it was her people. I'm just asking, am I the only one getting this? Because it was her people. She was not going, they have their own banks. Anybody ever walked into a bank and saw a Chinese person in their bank? Japanese person? Anybody? Wave your hand if you have. Yeah, I haven't. I want this to be the most important meeting of your life for this month. I want you to see just how important it is what I'm about to ask you to do. Because I'm going to ask you to join in.
Just one moment. I'm sorry. Do we still know who this iPhone person is, or are we okay with them still being here? You know who that is?
You know what? Go ahead and get rid of them because I don't know who it is. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, you haven't added me as an admin. I can't remove.
All right, I'll add you as an admin.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for reminding me, Okima. Okay. Thank you. Here is something that I'm going to ask you to do. Because this organization, the goal is to bring worldwide, planetary-wide visibility and attention to the American Indian, because we are the only original American and the only First Nation on this continent. We got all kinds of people claiming to be us. And because we've entered into their ritual of claiming to be us, we can't get rid of them. They're here because we shop with them. In the Bible, there's a passage, and I'm not promoting religion here, and I'm going to tell you that the Bible was actually a written law first to us, and then it was taken over by our enemy, and they put a lot of bullshit in it. But the people who started out with this book said, don't eat with them, don't sleep with them, don't sign contracts with them, don't let them in your gates, don't fuck them, don't have children by them. A whole bunch of don'ts. Which one of those do we not do? Anybody raise their hand? Tell me which one of those we don't do? Nope. We do every last one of those things, yet we want to be free. We think feathers and running around some fire and coming to a powwow is going to make us free. We got to go to work, people. We have got to go to work. Do we understand what going to work really is? Anybody? Because if you don't, I'm about to tell you. Terrence, I know you know. Terrence, I know you know. Work is coming together as a unit and deciding to do a ritual and making it stick until it's over. Alito Spencer, thank you for coming. A ritual is one of the most important things of our lives. How do we come out of their rituals? We start with what we can do. I'm going to ask everybody here to join in on this ritual. We will, one, return to our heritage. It's called the ritual of respect. No matter how many songs you hear out there in Negroes and ADOS and even Indians who is playing music that does not help us heal, you don't listen to it, you don't buy it, you don't let it in your home, and if it's in your home, throw that shit out. I'm serious. I was in the music business. I sat at the table with producers who planned our demise with music, because music is one of the most important things that moves our people. Anybody know that beside me? Just asking. Any hands out there? Yeah. So you listening to a bunch of bullshit, bitch, hoe, fuck me in the ass. Anybody got anybody? I'll let one person open their mic and tell me what this music is saying about the womb bearers of our people. One person. Go ahead, Demi.
It's very degrading, and also music has a way of getting within our spirit with subconsciously.
It gets into our subconscious. That's exactly what it does, and then we begin to operate by it. And then we become very comfortable. I know, I've done it. I've been in the music business since I was 5. I did it. Me and my girlfriends, what's up, bitch? Go ahead, hoe. I mean, yeah. Then when we act like bitches and hoes, we surprised. I can't believe you fucked that man. But you did say I was a bitch and a hoe. Why are you surprised that I act like one? Are we getting in here? Because this is the cycle that we are calling on ourselves. And these people have put a cycle out there and said, here, this is your cycle. The universe already gave us a cycle. You want to know what that cycle is? Put a seed in the ground, water it, pull it up, eat it, put that seed back in the ground. Let me tell you another cycle you have entered into, the cycle of death. That is exactly what it is. What they do, instead of putting you back in the ground, they put you in a box. They put you in there, you don't deteriorate, you are seeds. You are autochthonous. You know, anybody know what autochthonous means beside me? You want to tell us? Miss Carbon? Make it quick, make it short, because you know you're long-winded.
Ma'am. We are autochthonous. Autochthonous means that you ascend from the ground, from the earth.
That's right. That's
means
right.
You're not human.
We are. This is something that I asked her. The reason why I wanted her to do it is because she said something very important to me. She said she got on the fast and she was walking through the neighborhood and she got around some trees, and the universe told her, you know, these trees. Do you like these trees? And we got to talking, and I said, yeah, because we are the tree of life. I'm going to repeat it because it's real important for you to get it. We are the tree of life that they weren't supposed to eat from. So it's they obeyed that. It is us that broke that law. Oops. So it must be us to correct it. Deborah, I don't like you because you're blaming us for our own shit. You damn right. We better take some responsibility here.
Right. I feel you.
I tell womb bearers all the time, you want to know why our men are fucking white women? Because we fucked them first. No, we didn't. Yes, we did. We wanted to be just like them. We wanted to live like them. We wanted to eat what they ate. We wanted to see, we wanted to press our hair. We want to be like them. And then when they say, hey, why should I go with you when I have Becky? It's our fault. We wanted boxed foods. We told our men, get out there and work for me. I want a green stove like Becky. I want a blue stove like Becky. And while we at it, I want you to tithe at the church. You know how many men I heard say to the women, I'm 70 years old, so I know what I'm talking about. You know how many men I heard say, I don't want to give my money to that preacher. He ain't nothing but a pimp. But he went eventually. You know why? Because men will do what we tell them to do if we keep pushing them. That's their nature. That is their nature, to follow us. Oops, our bad. So if we're going to do the ritual of return, we need to really comprehend who we are. And fellas, don't get too excited, because y'all got problems too. Okay?
That's not a lie. Yeah, you're right about that.
Get too excited.
Definitely. It's true.
It's not a lie.
It's true.
Yep.
It's true.
Arrogance, pride, ego. We got all that.
Yep. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about it. It's part of the things I'm going to talk about. So here's the thing in ritual of return. Here's what I'm going to ask everybody to do. Return to our heritage. Our heritage state that we do everything together. You don't see an apple trying to fuck a cherry. Every seed after its own kind. And all y'all was thinking I'm too old to speak, say shit and fuck. Wake the fuck up. I just ain't that kind of prude. I've been
It's all good.
I'll say it.
I speak it.
The ritual of respect should start at home. All these people, this is home. Stop. If you still got it in you to say bitch, work on it. If you still got it in you to call your Indian friend a bitch, or even someone you don't know a bitch, work on it. If you still think the best feeling you ever had was when you stuck your penis in your woman's ass, where they gonna get any children from that, work on it. Because it is disrespectful and it is not good for the immune system. So some women think, well, because I'm a woman, it's okay. It's not okay. This is not what the universe built your ass for. We got some changing to do. We got some real changing to do. We really do. Anybody with me? Y'all still with me? Jay was like,
No,
I still might want to do that.
nah. Nah, that's not
Jay.
me.
I'm teasing, Jay. You'll get to know me. I'm teasing. We must have respect for our offspring. Here's something that we have learned to do. We've learned to beat the shit out of them to get them to do something. Anybody here thought that maybe we should take some time with our children and teach them the way to go? Parents, I know you know. I have a friend who bought some land, and he said, we're going to teach our children the way to go. You know what they do? You go over there, you see them plowing, watering, talking to the universe, making their beds, learning to be independent. They also know who the enemy is. That's respect for your children. To continue to send them to the enemy for education is disrespecting your children, period. It is disrespect for your children, period. After all the things that these people have done to us, we would still send our children to them? People who would tell you lies and tell you that the coronavirus has killed a whole bunch of Negroes when actually it's killed more Jews than anyone else. I have the documentation to prove that. Because they want to come into your homes, and they said it, I have the videos to prove that. They wanted to come into your homes. This is the ritual that you agreed to, and take out your children, as the guy says from the world, what is it called? World Health Organization, the WHO. He said it's time for us to go into people's homes and take them out within a dignified manner. Nigga, what's dignified about removing somebody from their home and taking their children? You know how many niggas went, yeah, because I don't want to die. That's a ritual that we entered into, and we agreed to let them do it. And they're saying, yes, you agreed to this, so why are you upset? And what is Biden saying? Make me president, and I will make wearing a mask mandatory. Anybody want that? Because I don't. Oops, sorry. I don't want masks to be mandatory. You know what else is mandatory? Where we shop. They have made sure that everything we eat comes from an Arab, a Japanese, a Chinese, an Italian, everything we eat. And we take so much pride in it. Girl, did you see that Italian meal? Girl, I love that. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Here's the first ritual. I'm going to ask everyone here to stop shopping at Arab stores. All their stores. That is the first ritual and the first ceremony that we need to do. How difficult is that? And if you don't have a car, start out early and go to the bus. Get a basket. Go somewhere else. Well, we'll be putting our money in somebody else's community. Yeah, but it won't be an Arab community. Guess what'll happen if we don't shop there anymore? Anybody know? Demi, want to tell us?
They'll fall.
Yep.
Because we
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Because we put our money in their hands and we don't build for ourselves.
Yep. Somebody might say, but you putting the money over there in Walmart. Better Walmart, because you know what? Once they fall in our community, we can take that part of our community. Anybody getting this besides me? That is the first thing I'm asking you to do. If you got a corner store, you must do like that Chinese woman. She inconvenienced herself to go to her own community store. A 7-Eleven right down the street. You could walk there. And it wasn't owned by one of us. It was owned by an Arab. You know what? I ain't going to the Arab store. She went to her own people just to buy something. You know why? Because that dollar turns in her community. No matter where she is, that dollar turns in her community. So if you got a car, put away a little extra gas money. Go to Walmart. Go to a friend and say, let's go shopping together on such and such a day. I am doing a ritual of return, and in this ritual, I am no longer doing ceremony with Arabs because our ancestors told us, you are not to eat with them. You are not to shop with them. You are not to have babies by them. You are not to get in contract with them. You are not supposed to, oh, listen to this, eat the king's food. Hello. Anybody getting this besides me? I started to sound like a preacher, forgive me. But seriously, we're not supposed to eat the king's food. Do you know, I was married to an Arab, so let me tell you, did you know that they do a ceremony over their meat before they sell it to you? Anybody knew that besides me?
Yes.
It's called halal meat. You knew that, David? Don, how do you pronounce your name?
Don Vootli.
Don Vootli, thank you for coming back and turning on
You're very welcome, man. Thank you.
Your video. They absolutely will not sell you meat before they do ceremony over it. A ritual against you. I know this personally. I'm gonna tell you something else I know personally when I was married to that Arab. He sent me to a particular store to go buy some lamb. I came back with that leg of lamb and he looked at the price of it, grabbed me, took that leg of lamb, took me back to that Arab, and I don't know what he said to them, but that man looked at me and said, "You his wife?" I said, "Yeah." And he gave him back some money. You know why? Because they charge us differently than they charge their own. Did anybody know that besides me? You would be better off. You want to buy food, go to a large supermarket and then save your pennies because help somebody that we're going to put in business in our communities. We're going to take our communities back. That is the ritual of return. We're going to return to each other. We're not just going to go out and have sex with anybody. We're going to, I don't believe in marriage, so I'm not even talking about marriage. But if you're going to have children, breathe in. Soul Being Co-op, is that a picture or is that a person? Halito, do you have the rule here is that everybody has to show who they are. Can you please turn on your video so that we can see you? We'll give you a few minutes. I want to know, does anybody think this ritual is too hard to do? I'm serious, and I'm not being facetious. I'm serious because it's going to change your life. It really is going to change your lives because
it's not hard.
Right.
No,
You are going to do
practice.
what the young lady that comes to my ritual class, what she does. You're going to, with intent, get up every morning and work out your day. I got to go to the supermarket next week, but then you need to have worked it out, either with a friend, another Indian, or how you're going to get to that store and pass that Arab. You want a bag of chips? Just the other day, I wanted a bag of chips. I went to Walmart. I could have walked right across the street to the Arab store and got my chips like I used to do. But I actually spent my son's gas. It's his car. And I bought a couple of bags of chips so that when I wanted chips next time, I'd have some on top of the refrigerator. See, that's what it means by intent. During a ritual, it's more than just, I'm gonna light a candle. You got 2 seconds, Mr. Soul Bean, or we're gonna remove you from the group. It is important that everybody be seen because we don't know who people are, and it's important to be able to protect everyone here at this meeting. Okay.
Okay, can I show you once until I can get to a place where I'm not around my kids or whatever?
I'm sorry, say that again.
I need to get to a place where I'm not around my kids or whatever.
Okay. All right, that's fine. We'll give you time. Thanks for letting us know.
Okay.
So I know this is going to be a put up on us. I know it is, but it's going to begin with us making hard decisions. But it's going to begin with us, and we have to do it. The second ritual of return, and I just talked about us and how we treat each other. The organization has put together a... Yes, Reba. Yes. I can hear you.
I can appreciate needing time, but can you log off and I appreciate you needing time, but can you log off until you prepare to log in?
You're lagging and I didn't understand. Can you type it? You want to type it? I can't understand what you said, Reba. Type it in the, can you type it in the? You want to type it in there so I'll know what you're asking me, Reva? Okay, so I'm gonna wait for her. But we have put together a counseling service, if you will, and we are going to work on bringing the womb and the fertilizer. That's what I call men in the womb back together according to our culture. And it's pineal. To the left, if you to the left of your screen, he is going to do 2 weeks with the men. In this, the men are going to get to talk about a very important thing. This is so that we can communicate with each other again. We're going to take out the bullshit they've given us and relearn to communicate. And I'm gonna deal with the womb bearers because. And Pineal is very sensitive to the womb bearers, just like I'm very sensitive to the womb bearers. He's also very sensitive to the fertilizers, just as I'm very sensitive to the fertilizers. And here's what we're looking at. Our fertilizers have been physically attacked so much and so long. They would be mentally ill if they're not angry. That's the truth.
Yes.
So when they turn around and they say things to us that we don't understand, a lot of that anger is because they are in a system that has beat them down, made them less than men. They have been called boy. They have been called beat down, deadbeat dads. And some of them are, that's true. But it was the society that made it that way. And that's not to say that these men aren't supposed to take responsibility for their bullshit. Don't get me wrong. I'm never saying that. And anytime you hear me talk, I'm never saying that we are not supposed to be responsible for our bullshit. But I am saying that we should also be aware of the fact that we all are in this together. We're going to have to learn to be respectful and to comprehend what we have been through as a people. There are more counseling services for women than there are for men. We always get to tell our story. Always. Am I wrong? Tell me if I'm wrong, or if you disagree. You can disagree with me. I'm always willing to learn. I kid you not. I really am always willing to learn. But it in my opinion, and what I have found as a sociologist, in my little empirical knowledge, is that this system has made sure that women can go somewhere and cry and say, he did this to me, he did that to me, he's not here for me, that, this whole movement. Thank you for showing yourself. How you doing, soul being? This is what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about how we can be there for them. And there's a lot of women who's going to say, well, fuck them. We're sick of them. We're tired of how they treat us. Yeah, that's the reason we're getting together, because I'm tired of their shit too. Men, we really are. I'm tired of it. But then we need to understand how we got here. We need to take responsibility for how all of us got here. The men also need to take responsibility for the fact that they can't turn around in their despair and take it out on their womb bearers and their children. And I see that a lot. I see in the Black community, they will not respect a woman if they can't fuck her in the ass and brag about it. Anybody with me? Am I the only one hearing this?
Shame, man. I feel you. It's a tradition.
It's a ritual.
Right.
You got it.
Been hearing it all the time on the radio, movies, it's all over.
All over. And if we're going to return to our lands, we are going to have to heal. Because let me tell you something. Our lands it's going to recognize us, but our lands will also recognize a bad seed and put it right back in the ground. Remember, we're autochthonous. And we need to begin to operate as autochthonous people. Okay, I'm about out of time. I don't want to hold us up too long. I got about 15 minutes. So we're putting this counseling service together. You will see the flyers. That's Pineal down there. Pineal, would you wave your hand? He is going to hold meetings with the men. You are going to be able to, without any holdback, speak your piece. Speak your piece, because no one has ever really given you the chance to say, I was raped when I was 3. My uncle did this to me. This hurt me. I don't like it. I'm still a man. Who has allowed you to come out and say that some man did some shit to you and you still a man? See, because when we get raped, we can still be women. I know that's a hard conversation, but it's true. We can still be women. Everybody will hold us, and we go to court, and then they make us look like fools and say, well, she was, she wanted it. But the thing is that we're heard. Even if nothing happens, we're heard. But men are not heard. They have been hurting for a long time. How many men could go to their wives and say, I really have to talk to you about something that happened to me in my childhood? And then that woman is going to feel like, I don't even know if I want that nigga anymore. So who is he going to tell? Besides the universe, because she knows already. She knows what our men have gone through. Just like she knows what we've gone through. That's our second movement. Our second ritual was actually showing up for this group and learning how to return to one another. That's the ritual of return that I'm talking about. I know you weren't expecting this, but I think this is one of the most important things, because we talk about returning to our lands. We talk about returning everything, but we got to return to each other too. Or we get on those lands and tear each other to shit, to shreds.
Right.
DeBoer, I got a question.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Okay, who has a question?
I got a question. I was saying, it seems to be more dudes in here this time. If y'all want to contact me to join this group, let me know. I can give you my number. Or let me give you an email. Y'all can email me. We can plan on from there.
Yeah, we're going to put up a flyer. Danielle's making a flyer right now. We're going to have one flyer. It's going to have, you're going to see Neil on there. You're going to have the number that he gives us for you on there. And you're going to find out when he's having this class. Thank you, Neil. You're absolutely right. So that you could contact him. So this is about you and not about us. So you're going to have someone like you to contact and talk to and be honest. Because after 2 weeks with him, and the womb bears have 2 weeks with me, you're going to have the last 2 weeks with Okima, I am Okima, and Danielle Naniwaya. That is where you come together and talk about it.
I think one of the best ways to resolve that is by us stepping in our true authority. We got a lot of anger issues. We just don't know how to manage it and put it in a place that's constructive.
I agree.
I mean, we're not using it in a constructive form. I think we're too busy licking our wounds. We're not trying to build a means of us using it in a way that will bring change. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So
I agree.
That's
and
what we
you're going
gotta
to talk about
be
this.
able to do that.
Come to the set. You're going to talk about this. Neil is going to give every last one of you an opportunity to state your case. Talk your truth. Cry if you want to. It's allowed. See, we get to cry, but you need a release also. There's nothing wrong. That the strongest. I mean, I can deal with a man that cries. Did you want to say something?
I would like to recommend a book. The name of the book is called The Definition of a Broke Ass. It deals with homosexuality in our communities.
Wow.
Because we are being hit really hard.
Okay.
The Definition of a Broke Ass by Dawa Israel. I have the book. I don't know where it is, but honey, it's an eye opener, and we all need to read it because homosexuality is affecting the American Indian too. I mean, since we got the table open here, I just wanted to throw that in there. Definition of broke ass.
Appreciate it. I appreciate it. I didn't even know it was a book like that. You passed that to Neil. He's the head of dealing with the men. Pass that to Neil. Pass that information to him.
Okay, when I see it come up, I will share.
Okay, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to say something. I know we run out of time.
Okay.
Could I say something?
Yeah. And then I'm going to finish, and I'm going to give everybody a chance to speak. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I can wait. Then go ahead.
You sure?
Yeah.
So everybody mute. Let me get through this, and then we'll give everybody a chance to speak. Because the most important thing is that when we walk away understanding that we are really in ceremony, not rituals alone, but in ceremony. And these ceremonies with these people work because we decide we want to go into ceremony with them about our own death. Every time we do one of their rituals, Halloween, 4th of July, Independence Day, what is the other one? Easter, Christmas, Juneteenth also. Most people don't even know that Christmas, the reason why they celebrate Christmas is because the people of the North hung their enemies' heads on trees. Guess who their enemies were? Anybody here know? I'll give you one guess. Your ancestors. So I can't imagine anybody walking away from here today going, I can't wait for Christmas. Woo! Let's celebrate them chopping off our ancestors' heads and putting them on trees. Hand me that light over there. Let's hang that light around there, and then you go and then you pray, and then you tell your children that Santa Claus brought them all those toys. This is what I want you to think about. And I know, and we're going to have some, oh, by the way, we have our new website. Finally, we got it up. We're not totally finished with it, but we finally got it up. And you're going to see, we're going to give you the link to it. You're going to be able to see the things that we talked about. It's going to be on flyers. So you can pull those flyers down and share them with your community about what the ritual of return is. And we're going to share, we're going to say, hey, look, you guys need to come into the ritual of return with us. Don't do it alone. Involve your families, involve your friends, and explain it to them and pass the flyer. Because the bigger this grows, the faster we get those Arabs out of our community. See, it's up to us. It's up to us. What did I have on here? I have it this way. First ceremony we must partake in as a unit, turn your backs on Arab communities. That sounds so harsh, don't it? How many of you know that they've turned their backs on us? Anybody here? I'm the only one. They have turned their backs on us. Every time you walk into their store, they have already planned your demise. I know, because my ex-husband used to have a store, and he used to laugh all the time about how they could put their hand in those potato chips and come out with dust. You know what we do? Because, you know, that most of the stuff we get is expired, and we change this and we change that, and we charge an extra few pennies, and they don't even know. They're such dumb. And I'm saying to myself, he know he talking to me? Those are my people. Seriously. They don't give a damn about you. They'll sell you some pickled eggs and pig feet and crackers.
Okay, well, but basically what we represent, I mean, as a people, that's just basically how they treat us. You know, we got to stand up. Like I said, we got to represent something about ourselves. as a
Yes.
people, for others to respect us.
And I'm gonna
Otherwise, it's
tell
gonna
you
be like
something.
that.
They will
24/7.
respect you. They will respect you, because I'll never forget one time I went into a liquor store. This is when I was living, I don't know if anybody knows about Detroit, but I was living on 28th in Michigan, and this was a time where they had closed the banks down the street. I said, I'm just gonna go down here and cash my check at this Arab store. Now earlier, this Arab knew who I was. He had given me too much money, and I gave it back to him. I said, you know what? I only gave you a 10, but you gave me change for a 50. And I gave it back to him because, well, that's just who I am. Some people wouldn't do it, and it doesn't make it right or wrong. That, you know, they steal from us all the time. But I did, and he about 2 or 3 months later, I went in there to cash a check, and his son treated me like I was a thief. And he called me names, and he did all kinds, and he would give me my check back. I said, sir, just give me my check back. And he said, and I said to him, you know what I think? I said, I think you talked to your mother with that nasty ass mouth of yours. I said, you know what you've done? You've seen your father do awful things to your mother. And so you think you can talk to me like that? His father ran over there. I don't know what he said to him, but he said, I'm sorry, ma'am, here's your check. I said, okay, thank you. I said, but I've already signed it. Just give me my money. He whispered in his ear, and that guy gave me that money. He said, you can bring your kids and take anything you want. See, they'll respect you when you respect yourself.
Right.
And every nigga that was in there buying liquor and paying too much for what they was wondering what the hell was going on, because they treat us like shit.
Can't get respect if you don't have it for yourself.
You gotta have it for yourself.
Right.
So, I got 3 more minutes. I'm gonna open the floor first to Okima, and then if somebody else wants to speak, we'll let them speak. Go ahead, Oki.
First of all, halito to anyone I didn't say hello to. I just think it's very important. We may know this, but I think we need to hear it and we need to digest it. All of the things that we spoke about today, as far as coming out of our enemy's rituals and coming into our own, and the healing, and certain things that might have been spoken about that maybe we may not be comfortable with. We need to really comprehend that we are who we got, and we have to be there for each other, especially during healing from trauma. And I just want you to know that Chaholali, which means love. I love you, I respect you, and I support you. That's basically what I want to say.
Thank you. Jacoke. I appreciate that. Anyone else? Please speak up. Please speak up. This is your safe place. Go ahead, Renita.
Posted on Facebook in the group about coming together with the Anglo-Saxon. You know, not like, I don't know, maybe because I had bad experiences with them, but how would that help us? You know what I mean?
You saw my Facebook Live?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me tell you what she's talking about. I have a Facebook Live. I constantly get inboxed by Anglo-Saxons when they see my videos, when I talk about us being Indians, because see, they know who we are. We're the only ones who haven't known who we are for a long time. They know who we are. They inbox me all the time. As a matter of fact, Danielle and I put up a poster saying that we wanted someone to, what was it we asked for, Danielle?
You mean the grant writer?
Yeah, we needed a grant writer. You want to know who inboxed us and said they wanted to do grant writing for us? White women. We know who y'all are, and we know that y'all really want to do stuff on it. But what did the one lady say? She said, "Well, I know grant writing it's hard to get really grant writers, but I want to work with you." Now that's not to say that I should trust a white woman, because I don't. But instead of having them as our enemy, Renita, and I get where you're coming from, instead of having them operating as our enemy, it is best to talk to them from here, where they will operate as our allies.
Good thought. I agree.
Because they got rituals too. One of them said to me, it was a young woman, and they invite me to their pages, and she said she had posted something that was going on, and I said, you're absolutely right. And she said, we're like you. We've been asleep too. No, she said, we've been put to sleep also. See, they listen to me just like you do. On my Facebook Live, they listen. So does that Native American too. They always trying to befriend me and ask me questions. I don't even bother with that imposter. He needs to be off the face of the planet.
Right.
But I do listen to Anglo-Saxons. You know why? Because they hold power in this country. Why not turn that power in my favor? That's how I think. I'm not saying let's go live with them, sleep with them, don't let them in your gates, don't have babies by them. That's not what I'm saying. But it is better for them to go with us on our behalf than to come against us with the KKK.
Right. You're right.
We need allies while we heal.
You're right.
If you don't agree with that, Renita,
Turn my light on.
that is okay. Stay away from them because that is your right. And I agree with you about taking that stance. It's a personal choice. Nobody's going to ever say to you, your personal choice, it doesn't agree with me. No, you ain't got to agree with me on that. That is how I see it. That is how I decide that these people who are constantly inboxing me, well, then be my ally. You know we Indian. Go tell some white folks. You know them, these Japanese people are hybrid aliens. Let them die. I talk to them all the time. They know that the Chinese people are hybrid aliens. They know that they are offspring of the whites. We do have aliens on this planet. That's a whole nother subject that I'll talk with you about, which is another reason we must come out of having sex with them. Many of these people that we've had sex with aren't even people, let alone clones. But I digress. So, how many of you can actually do this 1, 2, 3 things? 3 things. Can you guys tell me what it is? Because I forgot. What's the first thing we're going to do?
Well, you talked about it was a lot of things that you had hit on. One of them was to get rid of all that tainted music that people are listening to. So that's definitely one that's going to be simple for people to do. The other big one, which was to not put our money into these Arab stores. That's the first, community that we need to get out of our community.
Yep.
And my favorite one was to stop abusing the children, because I really have a problem with how the so-called Black community treats the children. I think that everybody's focused on, the relationship between the men and the women, but nobody ever tries to talk about what we've done to the children, because the children are constantly left out of the conversation. They're treated like they're accessories. They're treated like they don't mean anything and like they're not even people. So I talk about this all the time. Some people be seeing my rants on Facebook. I always talk about how Black people abuse the children, because they do.
Yeah, we do.
It was a learned behavior. You guys don't mind me speaking in full field?
Oh, hell no. Speak.
It was a learned behavior. It wasn't designed to help us. It was designed to help destroy us faster.
Right, exactly.
I won't say luckily, thankfully, we've decided a different path. I'm very gracious to be here this evening. It's been an amazing meeting.
Thank you.
But we decided a different path, and how we choose to walk this path is very important right now. And we got all the soldiers are coming together. It's not an accident that we all met up. And everybody got a piece that they got to put into what we're doing. Thank you so much, Deborah, for just being you.
Oh, your co-chair. Your co-chair.
But
You
we
know,
have
it's
to.
my pleasure and my honor.
Mhm.
It really is, because I was called for this.
Mhm.
And the road to doing it has been very, very lonely. And
Mhm.
can attest to
Absolutely.
there. So I've had people turn against me. I've had people,
Mhm.
my family tell me that I was crazy, and
Mhm.
oh, what if we Indian? You know, they know who we are, and they,
Mhm.
you will be surprised at the lonely road it is to get to our people. But we must take that road so that we can be prepared for our people. We have to.
That lonely road is called the high road.
Right.
And when you're on the high road, you can see things people on the low road can't see.
Yeah.
So we're definitely in the best position.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
I have something else to say that may, tie into these, rituals and ceremonies. Can we stop withholding information from our people? Because I feel like that's a ritual that that a lot of people in our community do too. Because unless you have something to offer them that benefits them, they don't want to give you information that's really your birthright. You have people and families who have knowledge about their American Indian heritage, and they don't want to share that to their children and grandchildren. You have simple stuff like, information that will help you get through life that, our people like to hold and, not give out.
Yeah.
They want to sell it to you.
Yes.
Yes. And
your birthright is not for sale.
I'm going to tell you something. Everybody mute your mic for a second, because I'm going to tell you something that has been happening. I have been getting calls from a lot of leaders. A lot. In fact, one leader called me today. It took me 1.5, I'll say 1.5 hours to tell him I got to go. Because they see that I'm calling the masses. This guy called me today and told me we have land in every part of of this country. We just haven't reached out to other people because we don't want everybody on our lands. He said, but we're reaching out to you because we need our lands occupied by our people. Now, I'm going to talk with this man, but I've had other people who have come to me and said, we want them to come under our nation and we're going to give them a document to sign and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, really? I got to sign a document with you in order to be an Indian? Did not come out one. Because there ain't a document in the world that I can hand a cop that he won't take out of our hand and shoot us if that is what he wants to do. So that's out. We're not doing that one. But I will tell you, this is the other thing I was going to talk about, and we're going to talk about this one in our group meeting, and we're also going to talk about it on our next meeting. There's 4 people here that is in the clan, the Naniwaya clan. That is me, Danielle Naniwaya. I am Okima, and Miss X1 Carbon. That is one of the mothers of our clan. We come together to build for that clan. What we are going to ask you to do, and we're from the Mississippi Choctaw. Find your band. If you can't find your band, that is another reason we have this group. If you know that you are, say, Sobean, I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you know what clan you're with? What your bloodline is? Where you from?
I was only able to trace back to 100 years to the comic of Virginia.
Anybody else in that clan? No? If you find somebody in that clan, turn them on to Sobean.
I'm not in that clan, but I'm in that confederacy.
Okay.
So she's welcome to hit me up. I got a little bit of information about that area.
Okay, see, so that's what we need to be doing now. That's what we need to be doing now, is finding out how to help each other trace back to who we are as clan members.
And I want to say something. The treaties are very important, but try to go beyond the 1800s when you're searching for your treaties.
As a matter of fact, you're right, Darren. I'm gonna tell you something that we've done as a clan, and that's why I want people to start getting with their own in the clan and coming to these meetings, because my clan sister sent me a treaty of, what was that treaty of?
1786 Treaty of Hopewell, Choctaw Treaty of Hopewell.
I know you know what that is, don't you, parents?
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea we were supposed to kill people who came on our land.
I'll tell you what, those old treaties or something else weren't. We actually did fight. We actually did try to protect our land, our homes, our people. What I'm finding out is how they were able to get over on us was with language. Mm-hmm. Most people have no clue. This is not an English-speaking country or continent. This is Choctaw. I think they were speaking. I think it was Sioux. I could be wrong. I know on the Powhatan Confederate we spoke Algonquin, so that we had our own languages, but they came over writing laws in English.
Right.
And we might have agreed to something we had no clue what we were talking about.
You know, and on that treaty, I remember something that you said, that our people marked an X. There was a name.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
One of those, each one of those chiefs, and it was an X. Where they agreed to it. But this is what one of the other chiefs told me about that document, and he said, here's where they are saying that they were over us, because they used the term "we give." Mm-hmm. So our ancestors had no idea that this language was saying "we give to you." They're taking ownership over that person by using the term "give."
Right.
This is why we got to come together, read our treaties, comprehend what's going on, and learn how to fight.
Right. But in reality, nobody has power over you. We're not dogs. We're not cars. We're not pieces of furniture. So they never had any kind of power or authority over us. We have to understand that.
So what I'm trusting that what I'm going to do for everybody that came, if you would, call me at 734-743-1708. And I'm going to give you a point by point of what we talked about today in your email. And also, I'm going to give you the number that Pioneer gives me to give out to the males. And you'll have the number for me for my counseling, and also the number to the girls, because I think it is important. And I think they did decide that each week is going to be $10. That's going to help us with our law and lands funds. That is what that money is for. But it is $10. And if you just don't have the money, then let us know. But I don't think $10 for that is I don't think that's a lot of money, and it does help us with our cause. The other thing too, the last thing that we're going to tell you, we do need coordinators. We have some coordinators, and they've done some fantastic work. We have 2 letters. We have 1 letter that we're sending out to each mayor all over the United States, well, the major mayors in the United States, about the Columbus statue and what we are demanding. I have talked to a lawyer who is helping us with that. So you'll understand that your donations are going to people lawyers and things like that, who is helping us. People who is helping us construct this letter, and the wording that needs to be done when we take it to them. These letters are awesome, because pretty much we're saying to them, you've destroyed our history once before and put us to sleep. These pretty much what these letters are saying. If you do it again, we're going to charge you with genocide. That's basically what these letters are saying. Because Columbus belongs to us, not you, not anyone else who came from somewhere else. This is not their history. It is for us to determine that our children need to know who Columbus is, what he did, the encounter that happened, and that this Negro actually started out doing rituals on us and killed us. If our children don't know that that happened, they'll repeat it.
That's right.
So no, you're not allowed to destroy that history.
Right.
Period. Nor the Confederate flag, because it was our flag first.
Yep.
Period.
Absolutely.
Ms. Deborah, if you don't mind, I want to mention one thing that I think that we should be thinking about, not necessarily acted on it, but thinking about it. The education system in the United States, I didn't say America, I said United States.
Mm-hmm.
We're the Americans.
Mm-hmm.
The education system have deliberately misled our children and us.
Mm-hmm.
And if you kind of imagine what we would be if they had have given us the truth. We have people that are 70, 80 years old just finding out that they're Indians. The education system should have taught us that instead of telling us we were black. And eventually African Americans, so on and so forth. That's something else that we need to start looking into and start really thinking about and seeing where our heart leads us on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Because
one of the things we decided to do, Darren, too, is, and Reba will attest to, can confirm this, is that we talked about every person is going to take that letter to their mayor. Mm-hmm. We're going to visit, we're going to actually video, and we're going to start making a documentary of this movement. We're going to document. Okay. I didn't get to it because time is fleeting and I didn't want to keep anybody longer than an hour, but we want everybody to visually document. Here I am no longer going to an Arabic store. I'm going to this store. Look at what I purchased. Send those videos to us because we're going to use those as documentation. Here we are actually going to meet with Reba and go to Washington. We're going to invite a lot of you to go. We're going to document that. We're going to put it on the video. We're going to document everything. It's going to go on our website. People are going to see us unified. Other Indians are going to see us unified and changing how we speak to each other. Yes, Reba. Reba, did you want to say something? Can you type it? Can you type it in?
About the bill they're trying to pass in California about the slavery project.
Who's speaking?
Renita.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Renita.
Yeah, you heard about that 1619 slavery project bill they're trying to pass in California?
Yeah, I heard a little bit of something about that, but I don't have the specifics of it. Did you want to talk about it?
But nothing much about it, but
okay.
Basically them trying to say our history starts as slavery.
If you don't mind me speaking.
Yeah, saying something, but my voice
is lagging.
If you don't mind me speaking.
Yeah, go ahead, Jared.
In 1619, they documented the first 20 so-called Africans coming to America. So-called Africans. Yeah. The American Indians were not at that time slaves. Matter of fact, we were slave owners because we had European slaves from Ireland.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anything that's going to try to change that history, how that history already is, needs to be rebutted.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what we're going to do, because the Hindsight Project, which put these things together, is actually a study of our history and put it out there. Look, I know we're way past time. We're way past time, and I don't want anybody to think, oh, these meetings are so long and drawn out.
That's what they're saying, but we know that false.
We didn't understand you, Reba, because it's lagging. You could call me afterwards and we can talk about it, and then maybe we can put it together. But please please call the 734 number. If you're interested in being a part of the sessions that we're putting together. We do want to get flyers in everybody's hands. We're going to have those on the website. So can somebody post the link to that website? Is it, Danielle, can you post the link to the website? We're also going to ask if everybody could do as we're doing. Donate $5 a month. That's it. So that we can pay for these things. So we can pay for the lawyers that we have and try to get some of that. It's not a lot. If you can do more, we're certainly not going to stop you from doing more, but we want to start out, if everybody could start out with $5, we would appreciate that so much because it's going to help us. Just anything that you can say, I'm going to take $5 away from my can of beans that I buy. And just, well, I know a can of beans don't cost $5, but, and help out with our mission, we would appreciate it. We really do. And I want to thank those of you who have already donated. I saw your donations. Thank you so much. They are highly appreciated, highly. Although one of the attorneys did say, look, you don't have to pay us anything right now. We're just giving you advice. But at some point, we're going to have to enter into that courtroom. Much to your dismay, Ms. Carbon. But at some point, we're going to have to tell them you're charged. And so we're going to need a lawyer who knows the language. And we're going to need somebody who, how do I stop this? So please donate. Your funds will be going to good work. They really will. And I appreciate it. Did anybody else want to say anything else before we log out? Yes.
I wanted to say something.
Okay, go ahead, Demi. Is that how you pronounce your name?
Yes, ma'am. I just wanted to summarize in regards to the ritual of return that we also need to be mindful of the rituals of our oppressors that we have took on, and one per se is how we eat. I don't think we was never supposed to eat 3 times a day, and especially not in the capacity that we eat, as well as the choice foods that we eat. And one thing I suggest everybody should start to grow some type of food, herb, or anything at home. That could be a start from us not having to go to these grocery stores.
Well, you could become a coordinator and start that ritual yourself with the rest of the coordinators without a flyer. If you just want to deal with that, if you just want to say, I'm going to be a coordinator of that group, and what I'm going to do is start dealing with how we should eat and how we need to change the ritual. And then we're going to be having these meetings. You can speak on it.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
You can speak on it. I mean, I'm not going to be the only speaker. There's going to be other people that come in. So yeah, please become a coordinator. I think, Jay, you are already in the coordinators group, aren't you? You came to the coordinators. Did you enroll in that?
No, I just started. No, I didn't enroll in anything yet.
Okay.
But yeah, I made a suggestion. We talked about it, about trying to connect with the White House, because I think we have to take some type of authority. People got to see that. People got to see that we're serious as a race of people, as a group of people. You know what I'm saying? They got to know that we're actually doing things to show that we're respectable. And that's the part that I'm passionate about.
Well, like I said, we do have a letter that's going out to the president, and we are going to be meeting in Washington. So yes, become a coordinator and help us with that.
Yeah.
That's why we're asking for $5 a month. We're going to need help. We're going to need to take trains. We can't afford a plane. Take trains or rent a car and go to Washington and stand. And we're going to ask everyone who's a part of this organization, just registering your name makes you a part of this organization. We're not asking for your firstborn or any of that. You're part of this organization. There was going to come a time where we're going to say, we're all going to meet at Washington. Please show up. Are you with me so far?
Absolutely.
Did anybody have anything else to say? Because I don't think anybody off that has something else that hasn't spoken yet.
Well, hold on. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Nancy.
Oh, okay. No problem. Thank you.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
You know, I was checking my volume level.
Oh.
It wasn't something that I.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and end it if nobody else has anything to say, or does anybody still want to say anything? I don't want anybody to leave here saying I didn't get to say my piece. Your voice is important. I guarantee you, it's absolutely important. So please don't hesitate to speak. Dr. Baker, you want to say anything?
No, ma'am, I'm good. Thank you.
You look so beautiful. I'm so glad you came.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to close. Thank you for coming. You'll be getting some information on our next meeting. Oh, did you want to say something, Naniwaya?
I was just saying this meeting was excellent. Everything, it was very informative and very thorough, and it actually was one of our best meetings yet. So, and we had a really good turnout. So I'm happy, and I thank everybody for coming. Like, this is very, I just can't wait to see what we do and what we create and what other things we put out in the future together.
Yeah, so. Yeah. Making this movement a movement. It's got to move, and it's up to us to make it move. So thank you for all for coming.
Welcome.
Jataya Bell, you're late. Call me at 734-743. I give you the points of everything that we talked about. Share it with your friends. Halito, everyone. Shipisa la chique.
Shipisa la CK.
Okay. We're out.